where the US presidential candidates Kamala Harris and Donald Trump went head-to-head in their first televised debate. It was fiery. The pair clashed over lots of issues: immigration, abortion, the economy. Vice President Harris called the former president a laughing stock on the world stage. She said he'd been manipulated by dictators, or he would be, if he returned to the White House, and she accused him of putting his ego before his country.
During the course of his rallies, he talks about fictional characters like Hannibal Lecter. He will talk about windmills cause cancer. And I will tell you, the one thing you will not hear him talk about is you. You will not hear him talk about your needs, your dreams, and your desires. And I'll tell you, I believe you deserve a president who actually puts you first, and I pledge to you that I will.
Meanwhile, Donald Trump used the opportunity to criticise American military aid to Ukraine, as well as accusing Kamala Harris of having no economic plans. The Republican candidate said that President Biden and his team destroyed the economy over the past 4 years. He also claimed that he would end the Ukraine war quickly.
I know Zelensky very well, and I know Putin very well. I have a good relationship, and they respect your president. That is a war that's dying to be settled. I will get it settled before I even become president. If I win, when I'm president-elect, and what I'll do is I'll speak to one, I'll speak to the other, I'll get them together. That war would have never happened.
So who came out on top then? Dan Harris worked extensively at Capitol Hill and at the White House during the Reagan administration, and he now hosts the podcast Over Here, Over There. Dan, welcome back to the Wake Up Call. We're keen to know what you made of the exchanges, which were overnight our time.
They were fiery. They were fiery for sure. I think, we have a confident approach by Kamala Harris. I mean, even at the outset, she walked across the stage, sought him out, and shook his hand and said, "Good luck." It looked like he didn't really was intending to do that. So you got that set right from the very start. But and overall, I would say I was fairly honest when Biden and Trump did their debate and how poor performance they both did. But certainly it was devastating for Biden at that time. I think this morning it was equally devastating for Trump. He really did the same old playbook, same old rant, same old kind of dark vision for the United States. And he was just talking to his base. And what you really need to do in these debates is to win the middle and to win middle America. And I think Kamala Harris certainly won those independent, undecided voters in this debate by far. So I think that as far as who scored, I think it was almost a shutout by Kamala Harris.
Wow. And
she did herself a lot of good as far as reaching out to voters and showing her vision and she got in a lot of her policies. I don't care what anybody else says. I was listening very closely on what she would do with immigration and the economy and abortion and things like that. So I think she did actually a terrific job. And so we just got the reversals of the Biden-Trump debate and now the Harris-Trump debate tonight.
And it matters, doesn't it? Because I understand that while she was leading in the polls during what you might call a honeymoon period when she took over from Biden, the polls had kind of narrowed again. So this debate could make a huge difference.
Yeah, this was kind of like another inflection point. She had exactly. I think you described that very well. That honeymoon period was lasting for 4 or 5 weeks.
Yeah.
This past week, the New York Times Siena poll came out, which is a very respected poll in the States, and it showed a tightening. But after tonight, I would expect that'll bump up another couple of points for Kamala Harris.
Okay. And another big piece of news that we heard after the debate was that Taylor Swift has endorsed Kamala Harris as well. Yes. Now, It's easy to hype this up. Taylor Swift, obviously, she's got so many followers on Instagram. She's a sensation. But would it really make a difference?
I think it would. I don't mean to be hyperbolic about Taylor Swift and all that and celebrities' influence. But she has a lot of followings, one of the biggest celebrities in the world. And so especially in that category of 18 to 35-year-olds, especially, although she touches all demographics, I think that will make a significant difference, because they're very loyal followers, those Swifties.
Yes.
So I think it will matter. And with the margins so close in these swing states, that any advantage that one candidate can have over another, especially when you bring in someone like Taylor Swift's endorsement, that is significant.
It's a big deal. So what happens now? I understand that the Harris camp at least were keen for another debate after this one. Will there be more in the run-up to the election?
Frankly, if I was advising her, I'd say stop now. Don't
Quit while you're ahead. Yeah.
Quit while you're ahead. This is great, and you won't get much different. I mean, if you wanted just to parade Donald Trump out again and have him do the same darn thing, and as far as his ranting and raving, then go ahead. But just to remind people what he's like. But I think the polls, I'm pretty confident the polls will show a bump up for Harris. So if she wants to repeat that again, but I think she doesn't have to after this.
And if you were advising Trump?
If I was advising Trump, it's tough to advise Trump. I think his handlers, his campaign managers, would be pulling their hair out because he really was just rambling and not sticking to the issues. It's really tough to keep him on message. So I just pity them because there's just no controlling him when he's in front of a camera or a microphone. So I have no advice for him at this moment.
He can make his own mind up on that
He
one.
wouldn't listen to it, and he wouldn't listen to it anyway because